Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, we'll introduce you to a four-legged healer. Jem is a pet therapy dog who is making the rounds at Doctor's Hospital. It's nasty, it's smelly, and it may also be bad for the environment. Dr. Tracy is testing dog poop. And socializing your pet is easier than you think. Paul explains with some tips and tricks. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. I'm the first to agree with the saying, a dog is a person's best friend. And I have witnessed firsthand the way a dog can lift someone's spirits and calm nerves. It's like they can have a healing effect on us. This is the reason many hospitals encourage furry friends. Today we're here at Doctor's Hospital with two very special people. We have Gail Gyna, but we have Jem. Tell us about Jem, this precious creature.
Oh, Jem is my heart. Jem came to me when she was 1.5 years old from Southeastern Guide Dogs. And she would have made a wonderful guide dog, but as they were putting her through her testing, they found that she had the possibility, there's nothing wrong with her, but the possibility of developing a heart issue. And that because of that, they took her out of the guide dog program and made her an ambassador dog. And I knew she could do the type of work that she's doing here at Doctor's Hospital.
So how soon after you brought her home did you say, Jem, you've got to pay for getting your dog bones?
It's time to go to work. It's time to go to work.
And of course, what is her breed?
She is a yellow lab.
Okay, and they want to work.
They
are part of that.
She, every Monday, she waits for me to pick up her jacket. She is following me around, waiting for me to pick up her jacket. And at that moment, she knows it's time to go to work. And she does work in a room. We get all the people together in a group, and she goes from person to person to person. And what amazes me is how well she reads the clients. She knows a dog person, and she'll roll over on her back and play with them, you know. But she can also tell people who might not be as comfortable with dogs, and she will just go up and lay her head in their lap or let them come to her. But she reads people amazingly well. And by the end of the hour, she's made friends with everybody in the group. I mean, they're all, you know, Jem, come here, come here, come here. And she just goes around and around. And we show, you know, some of the things she learned at Southeastern, some of the things she knows. And I tell the Southeastern story, but basically I'm just her chauffeur.
Absolutely, yes.
I bring her here and let her do her magic.
Good girl. What a beautiful girl. You're a pretty girl. Yeah. You're a pretty girl.
Yeah. Here, she's been doing this for 4.5 years now. And I figured it up the other day. That means she's seen about 2,000 patients here.
Isn't that marvelous? So who gets a bigger kick out of it, you or Jem?
Oh, both of us, both of us. I sit back, and what I enjoy is watching the faces of the patients. And when we walk in, people are not so happy. They might be a little sad or down. By the time we leave, people are laughing. They're on the floor playing with her. They're, you know, the whole atmosphere in the room has changed, and it's because of her.
It's unconditional love and regard and non-judgment. You know, in our lives today, we make judgments of people when we see them on the street or any type of situation. But with a dog, there's never a negative judgment. There's no judgment at all. And that's safe, and that's secure, and that is familiar to many people, where they don't have to feel that they can just be. They don't have to live up to anything. Jem can actually diminish, by her being in the room and by her ability to be able to be close to somebody, their perception of pain, their ability to be able to handle that traumatic injury that they might have, and that recovery time. So just her being in the room and being with people actually diminishes their perception of whatever they've experienced, whether it's pain or recovery or any type of trauma or anything of that nature. Jem is part of our continuum of care. And what I mean by that is that Jem's ability to come in with Gail and to be able to meet with our patients and to help them work through, help them work through some of their emotional challenges is a great therapeutic intervention for our patients. She deals with those interactions, and she really helps diminish their anxiety, helps lift their mood and decrease their depression just by her existence, just by being in the room.
A typical patient who would really benefit from Jem would be what?
Well, certainly a patient that experiences depression and isolation, things of that nature. There's a whole continuum of symptoms that go along with depression and anxiety. But certainly isolation is a big piece. The fact that you can physically touch Jem, pet her and hug her and do things like that is very rewarding for an individual. We have to have touch. And whether it's a human being or whether it's an animal, it's the same emotion.
It's the most important thing I do every week, Marcia. And it's important because it's very seldom you get to help someone one-on-one. And to watch what she is capable of doing, to watch her change lives, just brightens my life beyond measure. I cannot imagine not doing this. This is so important to me.
From hospitals to assisted living facilities and even libraries, pet therapy animals are becoming a common tool to help people relieve stress and anxiety. To become trained as a pet therapy dog, it doesn't matter your dog's size or breed. A certified dog must pass a temperament evaluation and be well behaved. Dr. Tracy, I have something very interesting for you.
Great. There's something in this green bag that's more harmful than you might expect. It's gonna be awful.
People have asked me what it'll cost to restore all the corals back the way they remember. But I have to ask them, what will it cost if we don't do anything?
Every dog deserves a lifelong loving home. Dantes Den provides a pristine, comfortable haven for dogs that have been abandoned or surrendered by their owners. We ensure that every pup in our Joyful Dogs adoption program receives lots of love and attention, is properly immunized, spayed or neutered, and is in good health. Prospective pet parents undergo a thorough adoption review to ensure a lifetime of love and care. Find your new furry best friend at Dantes Den. For more information, go to dantesden.org or call 844-DANTES-DEN. Dantes Den, continuing the love.
Over 90% of the seafood that is coming into this country is raised in areas of the world that don't have the highest standards. And so our approaches are aimed for two things. One is to help feed the world. The second is to do it in an environmentally friendly and sustainable way.
Dantes Den Foundation is continuing the love. Join us Saturday, February 9th from 9 to noon. Make your appointment now for a wellness visit, which includes an exam and general vaccinations, all for one low price. We're also offering tours of Dantes Den and doggy baths for your furry friend. You can even smooch a pooch with our lovable Newfie Benson. Call 941-219-3730 for more information. Help us continue the love. Science is everywhere, and it's all around us. It's observing the world, forming questions, and the willingness to find the answers. It's something our Inspector Planet does every day, and you can too.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tracy Finara. I'm an environmental engineer, which means that I use different scientific disciplines to protect the environment, humans, and wildlife. At Mote Marine Laboratory, I use investigation and myth busting to answer questions.
Tracy, it's such a gorgeous day, but it's cool. I don't see the pelicans. Oh, darn.
Oh, that is not good. You stepped in dog poop.
This is not good, and on my new gym shoes.
Yeah, so you're not going to be sitting next to me later.
Yeah, sure. Look at that.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Well, first of all, somebody didn't pick that up.
You're exactly right. And do you know what the problem with that is?
Well, yeah, look at my gym shoe.
Well, more than that, that's actually really bad for the environment. That poop contains a lot of contaminants that can run off and harm our ecosystems. Just like that are in your poop. We know that we don't go pooping outside. It all goes to a wastewater treatment plant where it's treated. With dog poop, this goes right on our lawns, and every single drop of rain that drops in the state of Florida runs off to a natural water body, bringing all the contaminants from your car, from you know, any trash that you throw out your car window, but also your dog poop. We all love our dogs, but no one likes picking up dog poop. So what's the problem with dog poop anyway? Why do we have to pick it up? Well, dog poop, just like our poop, contains bacteria, contains other toxins, but it also contains nitrogen and phosphorus. This can be problematic because it can cause algae blooms. Have you ever been around a lake or seen a body of water where there's this really thick green paste? Well, that's an algae bloom. And that's a sign of nutrient loading or high amounts of nitrogen and phosphorus to the water body from things like natural material, but also from things like our dog's poop. So the question is, how much impact does our dog poop have on things like algae blooms and our environment? Let's go find out. So we got our specimen here. Now, the compounds most likely to cause algae blooms are nitrogen and phosphorus. They're considered nutrients. You would think that nutrients would be a good thing, right? But sometimes too much of a good thing is not a good thing. So we're gonna find out how much nutrients, nitrogen and phosphorus, our dog poop has with this kit. So the first thing we are going to test is phosphorus. And that is because freshwater systems like lakes and ponds are called phosphorus limited. And what that means is that there needs to be a certain ratio between nitrogen and phosphorus in order for an algae bloom to form. Now, there's plenty of nitrogen around in most freshwater systems, and phosphorus is the limiting factor and what's super important for an algae bloom. So that's why we're going to do that first. Now, with marine systems, it's the opposite. Those are nitrogen limited. So we're going to test nitrogen as well. All right, now test tube. Thank you, Chloe. This is my intern, Chloe. She's getting her master's at the University of Florida, which is the best school in the world. Come on. Oh, sorry, Chloe. All right. And if you can see, that's a dark green-blue color, which means that we have a high amount of phosphorus. So what we're doing now is testing our nitrogen content. Nitrogen is a nutrient just like phosphorus, and nitrogen is the limiting nutrient in our marine ecosystem. And we see that our nitrate is high in concentration as well. Now we know that there is high amounts of nutrients in our dog's poop, which can be partly responsible for algae blooms, wreaking havoc on ecosystems. So remember, guys, pick up your dog poop, because not only are there nutrients, there's bacteria and other toxins, just like there are in our poop. So you don't want that going into our water body, because it goes into the water body, goes down into the groundwater, becomes our drinking water. I know it sounds gross, but that's just the way it works. So keep that in mind. Whatever you put into the environment eventually comes back to affect your health.
So Dr. Tracy, dog poop. We tell people pick it up. It's very important, but it's more important than just us stepping into it, right?
It is. It not only ruins your shoes, but it can also wreak havoc on our ecosystems, causing algae blooms, among other issues for those aquatic systems. Remember guys, anyone could be a scientist or an engineer with some passion, hard work, and curiosity of how the world works.
A dog's waste is full of bacteria and parasites that can remain in the soil for years. So if you don't pick up after your pet, you are putting people and other dogs at risk of getting sick. Coming up next, we'll learn an important skill that can help reduce your dog's anxiety and fear. Without doing this, your dog may be afraid of new experiences. Socialization is key to a well-rounded, healthy dog. And Paul has some tips and tricks to turning your dog into a social butterfly. Paul, socialization is such an important feature of training your dog, not only for their interaction with humans, but their interaction with other dogs. But it's a little more difficult than we think. Really?
Yeah, it is, because dogs speak amongst themselves that we're not listening, we can't hear, we don't understand what they're saying. If you're bringing another dog home to the house where you already have another dog, maybe put the leash and the collar on both of them and introduce them slowly. That way, if there's a problem, you can pull them apart. But the best way is just to come in and keep them in the same room, let them smell each other, get to know each other, and then just gradually let them go on their own. They'll figure it out. You'll know right away if there's a problem.
If you bring a dog in and you try the socialization with another dog and it's just not working, or for that matter, Paul, we're afraid. We don't want our two dogs to get into it and then we have another problem. Is there neutral ground that we should try? Or is this when we get onto the phone and say, hey, we need a trainer?
You probably need a little help on those situations. But keep in mind that the dogs feed off of how we're feeling. So if you're anxious and your anxiety is up because you think there's going to be a problem, there's probably going to be a problem, because your dog that's been there is going to understand how you're feeling. He's going to be apprehensive. So everybody's going to be out of whack, because the new dog is going to be like, what's going on? Why is he mad at me? Why is, she feeling this way? It's probably time to have somebody come in and help you with that.
Is it true that older dogs, and an older dog could even be considered 2 to 3 years old, will accept a puppy, but they have a harder time accepting a dog of perhaps the same age?
Yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, dogs know when it's a puppy. They know how much force to use to a puppy to say no. I mean, in regards to hurting a puppy, to hurting another dog. Other trainers may disagree with me on that, but dogs understand what a puppy is. Just from the smell alone, they understand age and it's a puppy. But dog the same age, male, female, you probably won't have a problem right away. The female will want to run right up to the male and start smelling because she's a boundary thing. She'll want to check out everything. So the male's going to follow her around. 2 males, I would introduce them slower. Use more caution. Don't be scared, but maybe have another person there with you and introduce them, like I said, on the leash with a collar, and just let them smell each other and get to know each other, and before you let them go and play. You'll know right away, if there's any kind of a problem. They're going to give you, there'll be subtle hints and clues that you can pick up on.
Yeah. So Paul, we have to ask the question, is socialization a big deal?
It is, because for the cohesiveness for the whole family, everybody has to get along. But in the best world, the 2 dogs will take their time getting to know each other, and within 10-15 minutes, they'll be running around playing, happy, go lucky, and everybody will be happy in the whole family. But to have everyone getting along is important.
So you think Zuki can make the grade?
Zuki can make the grade, yeah. Zuki can make the grade.
Stay with us. More Animal Outtakes is coming up next. Dantes Den Foundation is continuing the love. Join us Saturday, February 9th from 9 to noon. Make your appointment now for a wellness visit, which includes an exam and general vaccinations, all for one low price. We're also offering tours of Dantes Den and doggy baths for your furry friend. You can even smooch a pooch with our lovable Newfie Benson. Call 941-219-3730 for more information. Help us continue the love. Animal Outtakes is produced by Dantes Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dantes Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org. There is a pervasive disease that we all dread, both in humans and in our animals, diabetes. There's a variety of diabetes and a variety of ways to treat it. Tell us.
Well, in humans, we very often will catch diabetes very early on, and it tends to be a very long, slowly progressive disease before you actually need injections of insulin. Unfortunately, with dogs and cats, most of the time that they are diagnosed, they are already insulin dependent. And our giving them a dose of insulin and saying, here you go, I hope that lasts you for 12 hours, is a very poor substitute for what our body does. Normally in your body, as your blood sugar goes up, you produce insulin, which lowers your blood sugar, which lowers your insulin, and it tends to be a very fine balance. When we give them an injection of insulin, their blood sugar starts here, drops hopefully not too low, and then starts to come back up to here before they get their next injection. And so we have them in an ideal range, actually for not a very long part of the day. And so it's a very difficult disease for us to control in pets, and particularly for the pet owner, because you are now on a schedule. They have to eat at a certain time, they need to get their injection the same time every day. And so it's a very difficult disease for the owner to try to control. And same with humans, there is no cure for diabetes, there's just control. Our hope for the future is that at some point we can use stem cells to regenerate the cells in the pancreas that make the insulin. And there are certain breeds that are at very high risk, particularly breeds that are at risk for getting pancreatitis or inflammation of the pancreas. And as you know from your own experience.
Schnauzers.
Yep.
Schnauzers. But you know, you have taught me over the years, because I have had diabetic dogs, it's really easy to give the injection. You just
very easy.
Kind of pull it up over here, come in here where the V is. They don't even know it's happened. Of course, we're squealing and, oh, I can't do it, but we have to do it. But we can, once we start the injections, we can give them a good life, can't we?
Excellent life.
Yeah.
And I have had literally 85-year-old clients with mean cats that give the shots every day. You usually do it while they're eating because it distracts them. And becomes actually a reward. They see the bottle and they know their food's coming.
So some of these diagnoses that you have to make, while they can be controlled, they're not life-threatening.
They can be if they don't control the diabetes very well. And just like people, it can lead to kidney problems, liver problems.
Okay. You're a lucky pup. We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. We'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching.
They'll figure it out. You'll know right away if there's a problem. One will, stop.
Now, we've all...
She's never done that before. I don't know what she's thinking. She's tough because she's between my legs. That's why. Yeah, it's because she thinks she's tough now.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I got a whip of it.
Yeah, I did too. Woo! I'm kind of grossed out.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I was filming that water that you're now photobombing.
Now, if you bring a, I was going to say if you bring a horse in. Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's not real there today.
Okay.